Welcome to Nerd and Tie. I'm one of your hosts, Trey Dorn, and joining me as always are the ever wondiferous Nick Izumi
I'm not last this time.
and the effervescent Firsters.
Don't drop me in water. I will bubble.
This is a very special episode, yet a
Oh,
regular
very
episode,
special.
because it's our 2014 year in review episode.
Huzzah!
But Fur and I are both deathly ill.
I wouldn't say deathly. I just might vanish from the recording for 5 minutes at a time randomly in between the episode.
Yeah, so, and Fur may have to disappear to the small room at any given moment, and I'm running a fever of 100.2, which, by the way, for the record, if you're taking someone's temperature and you tell them, and they have a temperature of 100.5, don't accidentally say it as 105 because
Oh, dear
you'll
God.
freak them out. I love my wife, but she made a small mistake last night, which scared the crap out of me for 2 seconds before she corrected herself.
Good God.
Meanwhile, I was I was surrounded by strangers in an enclosed space all weekend, and I am not sick at all. Huzzah!
Well, I was in an enclosed space with my grade school aged cousin.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Welcome to my fun zone. Half my family has the flu. Like, half my extended family right now does. It's really
It's awful.
bad.
I'm not sure where I got mine from, but it's
Oh.
not great.
No. And Fur and I are being festive, and you can just pretend Nick is being festive
Can you
because
wait?
you
Can you
can't see him.
quick? Can you quick take his picture and paint like a Santa hat on it? Is that doable?
All right, let me see here.
Because I think that'd be great. Like if you could.
All right, let's switch to Nick's lower third. All right, there's Nick. And if audio listeners, this is going to be really boring for you.
No. Let's Nick. How you doing, buddy? How was Anime Apocalypse?
I'm doing good. It was all right.
Yeah.
We made some good money there. I did end up hosting a panel after all, mostly because no one showed up to host the classic sci-fi panel that was supposed to be 2 hours long. So I took it over because no one else would.
Because they knew you would be there and that you would take it over if nobody showed up to do it.
Oh, no. The staff didn't know I did it. I just saw the
Oh.
room was empty. I asked if there was a panelist there. They said no, and I sat down and started talking.
That's perfect.
That's awesome.
And very Nick-like.
There we go. We've given Nick a Santa hat for the video viewers.
Hey, that's good.
Huzzah!
And we're going to make that go away. And now we're going to talk about things. You know, I did that once where I took over a panel at DaishoCon one year.
Which one was that?
What panel was it?
Introduction to DMing panel that got canceled
I
last
remember
minute.
that.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I ended up running a panel because even though it was canceled, people kept showing up for it.
Ah. Yeah. Seen those.
So I ran it. I
Very
was
cool.
mighty. Okay, so we should actually get to the topic of what we're doing here. See, the problem is when you've got sick people, they kind of forget what they're doing at any given moment.
It happens. You guys are all lucky that I'm not hopped up on NyQuil.
I am merely on Sudafed and probably Tylenol pretty soon to get the fever down. It's
Right?
exciting.
It's going to be great. But we got, you guys, 2014 is almost over,
Yeah.
Thank
2014
God.
is almost over.
right? I think I'm in the same boat as you, Nick.
I, I didn't enjoy... Personally, this was kind of a crummy year. But in terms of nerddom, this was actually a pretty baller year.
It has been a good year, especially for nerd-related things, which is what we're here to talk about today.
Yeah,
I
we
think.
are. And because we're so disorganized this episode, we're going to have to wing who walks us through the rundown because we didn't assign stories. This
Oh, we
episode.
didn't. Well, you guys, of course, one of the things that we really, I'll start. One of the things
Okay.
we're all huge fans of here at Nerd and Tie are movies. We all
Movie
probably,
sign!
I would say between the three of us, we see, gosh, I would say over 50 movies a year between the three of us. I mean, we all
Yeah,
love movies.
that's a pretty.
We
safe
watch a
thing to
lot of
say.
movies. I mean,
We watched a lot of movies, so we have a pretty good foundation to say what we liked as movies and or film. This is our 2014 in film section, folks. Guys, why don't we start by talking about? Well, I like talking about good things first, so why don't we talk about our best films of 2014?
So,
Okay.
so do we want to say it on 3 this year, like we did last year?
I think so. Are we ready?
One,
One,
two,
two,
three.
Guardians of the
Guardians
Galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
there's no
what a
doubt in my
great
mind.
movie.
It was the most fun I've had at a movie since Pacific Rim, which was our 2013 movie of the year. And it's just generally a great flick.
Perfect soundtrack. Perfect
And-
casting. We went off on it for that entire special that we did, but it's such a good movie.
I mean, I don't think Marvel has ever had a movie like that where I've had that much fun. Even the Avengers had its moments where I'm like, I'm not really into this, but Guardians of the Galaxy was the most fun I've had at movies in a while.
I really think this was Marvel's year, though, because honestly, my other front runner would be Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
That was pretty
Bec-
good.
It was a really smart movie. It was a really brilliantly well acted movie, and frankly, I'm not used to comic book movies being just that good at doing action. Like, this was a hard hitting action movie. It wasn't comic book violence in this movie. It was straight up intense, really meaningful blows. I loved that movie.
Well, you know, it was the best. It was the best Black Widow story we're gonna get.
That's kind of sad, but
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, it was the best. I mean, like, let's be honest here. They're probably not going to make an actual movie for her, but this got pretty darn close. So,
Yeah.
but what else was good in 2014 for movies, you guys? I mean, let's looking. I mean, Godzilla. Obviously, we all loved Godzilla here.
Well,
At
Nick
Nerd and
liked it.
I liked it. Yeah.
Nick liked it.
I
loved it.
loved it.
Trey
Nick
loved
liked it.
It was good though. I would rank it up there as one of the better movies of the year.
I'm kind of the Lego Movie needs a bit
Yes,
of love because that was such a great movie. That was
The Lego movie was great.
Well, you know why that movie was so good? It was because it was written by Bill Lawrence and Phil Lord, the masterminds behind the greatest animated series of all time, Clone High.
Well, let's give some love to the amazing cast that they had, though, because everyone just nailed it with their
Man
voice.
of the Year, Chris Pratt. I mean,
Right back to Chris Pratt.
No actor has claimed a year, I think, like Chris Pratt did with this year. And next year, too. We're going to head into next year. It's going to be all him next year as well.
He is my man. Yeah, Chris Pratt owned that movie. Will Arnett was hilarious. Alison Brie also deserves a little bit of love as Unikitty, because holy crap, she killed me in that movie.
I mean, literally, Nick is actually dead.
Yeah.
He's a ghost. Right now, at your computer. He's a ghost in the system.
Speaking of ghosts, another animated movie that was fantastic that more people should have gone to see was Book of Life. That was an amazing movie.
You know, I didn't see that one this year, but I've not heard a single bad thing about it.
It is worth every cent that you pay to see it. It is worth every moment of your time. It was very funny. It was beautifully animated. I mean, they used CG and recreated this look of traditional Mexican puppet theater. It was just such an amazing little experience. I'm really glad that I went to go see it. If you get the chance, do check it out. It's so good.
A movie that I really enjoyed, kind of straying away from the nerddom thing, Liam Neeson in A Walk Among the Tombstones. I mean, it was a very, like, gritty pulp sort of film noir type movie for 2014, which is not something you really see a whole lot of. I know Sin City: A Dame to Kill For tried to do that this year, but I mean, I think A Walk Among the Tombstones did that better than most movies in recent memory that have tried to go for that film noir type feel. And the best movie I
wanted to see that.
The best movie I haven't seen that I've been told I need to see is Birdman.
Yeah, I've been meaning to check that out.
I want to see it. I keep meaning to see it. Have not seen it.
If only because Michael Keaton's in a superhero outfit again.
You know what else? You know what else was good this year was Big Hero 6.
Oh God, what a great movie!
That
Also,
was phenomenal.
Waiting to see that one with my daughter. Have not seen Big Hero 6 yet.
Can we
It's
give
good.
one thing that movie? Well, that movie deserves credit for a lot of things. One, Disney being ballsy enough to make a movie where the main theme is a 13-year-old boy versus survivor's guilt, because that's what the movie is about at the end of the day. But it is fun, it's colorful, and it's a comic book movie that strays from the source material completely and does everything for the better as a result.
Oh yeah, I mean that's like the weirdest team to adapt.
Mm-hmm. And, well, the Big Hero 6 team in the comics are not that interesting. I'm
No.
sorry, they're not.
It's all the Japanese fetishism of the late 90s, early 2000s.
Mm-hmm. And instead, we got this movie with fantastic characters. There's not a single bad character in that movie.
No.
Mm. No, I'm glad you mentioned that one, Trey. That was a very
helpful.
moving little film.
So,
Ugh.
as for returns.
I'm back. Sorry.
All right, so we should talk about the worst films.
Oh God, where do we start? I Frankenstein was really bad, you guys.
I have not seen it.
That was
I kind of
awful.
want to.
It was. I might even
That
put
thing
it
was
in the so
delayed
bad it
for
was good.
years.
I might even put that in the so bad it was good category, just because it was. I don't think it ever tried to take itself too seriously, but it had enough of those moments where you're like, are they kidding right now? Like, is this?
I think they filmed that like before the 5th season of Chuck. Because Yvonne Strahovski's in there, and she was talking about it during the promotional stuff for Chuck season 5.
Weird.
Oh
I
my
could be
God.
wrong, but I really think it was. So, yeah.
Though, let's all be honest here. I think we can all agree that the worst movie of this year was Transformers:
The Age of Extinction.
Age of Extinction.
Yeah. That
I mean,
was
it
pretty bad.
It wasn't good. It was bad.
I still haven't seen it. I swore that I wasn't going to. I swore I wasn't. I still haven't. The only thing that's kind of made me think about seeing it was I have a fan of my channel who likes my rants, and he desperately wants me to tear into that movie. So
Yeah, there's lots of stuff that like came out this year that was just kind of meh.
like Spider-Man, where it was kind of okay, but not that
Yeah,
good.
like Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2 was okay, but
I don't think it's nearly as bad as people make it out.
oh no, it's not. But it was.
But yeah, it could have been a lot better.
For the studio, it was pretty awful. I mean, it did worse than Spider-Man 3. It did
Ow.
worse in the box office than Raimi's Spider-Man 3. It was profitable, but like Andrew Garfield is pretty much out as Spider-Man. It's that franchise is pretty much dead in the bucket. There's lots of other stuff that like we had 2 Hercules movies this year, which were both mediocre. Noah was The Expendables 3 I didn't even realize happened until after it was out of theaters.
Yeah. Actually, my worst movie of the year was a straight to video title.
Oh what?
It was actually the DC animated Son of Batman. It was
Okay.
just awful. Total disservice to Grant Morrison's Batman and Son comic. Their actor playing Slade Wilson sounds like he's falling asleep in the booth. The story was crap. The animation and continuity were kind of inconsistent. The only good thing was the Young Justice character designer is getting work again. That's good. I mean, like beyond, it's just a terrible, terrible. It's not just a bad Batman movie. It's just a crappy movie. It's too dumb to be for adults, and it's too violent to be for little kids. It's just, ugh.
That's bad.
Yeah, nothing there. It would appeal to nobody. It would literally appeal to nobody.
Right now, I'm going through the list of films that came out this year, looking to see if I could find anything that happens to be worse. Let's see here.
I heard Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas was awful. Um,
Oh
because
God, have you like read about like the full thing about that film? It's
uh,
insane.
all I know is that like it eventually comes down to Kirk Cameron defending every aspect of Christmas as being about Jesus, even wanton materialism,
Yeah,
and
no,
how
he
yeah.
seriously does. He makes this weird argument that like all the materialistic stuff is pro Jesus. Like he's literally arguing to take like all the Christian parts out of Christianity and claiming the non-Christian parts celebrate
Mhm.
Christ in ways that are kind of contradictory to the way that Christianity would actually want you to do it. I had a theory that really the film was ironic because if you read the thing, the main character Christian White, I'm not kidding. That is the main character's name. Because yeah, it's Christian White is the fictional brother-in-law of Kirk Cameron in the film. Kirk Cameron plays himself,
Of course.
and Christian White is played by the guy who wrote the movie. And the main character is like going outside because he's sick of all the excess of Christmas, and that apparently, though, not wanting to partake in this stuff was making him a real bummer and ruining Christmas for everyone else. When really it's called he wasn't having fun, so he took himself out of the party so everyone else could have fun. You know, which is more kind of mature thing to do.
Right.
But so Kirk Cameron comes out there like literally with like a halo of light behind him as he walks out to the car where and most of the movie is Kirk Cameron talking to this Christian White character in a car while poorly designed reenactments act out the stories that Kirk Cameron's talking. Anyways, my theory is that actually Kirk Cameron is playing Satan in the movie and trying to get people to forsake the actual like teachings of Jesus. That's my theory.
So that was a
It
weird
actually
part for me to
holds
walk in
up
on.
better with Christian doctrine than the literal like understanding of the film.
See, I'd want to believe that, but Kirk Cameron is such an out and out like advocate against like teaching evolution and
Oh
all
yeah,
of
no,
that
it's
Are we
I
talking
he's
about
gone,
Left
like,
Behind?
roundabout these last few years, where he's like taking this weird middle ground, which is still offensive to anyone with any source of ration or reason, but also offensive to a lot of Christians.
Oh
It's
my
awesome.
God.
So yeah,
I-
Saving Christmas might be the worst movie of the year.
That was, I think one of the worst movies that was fun to see. Right, segue was, of course, because I'm a sucker for Nicolas Cage movies. Did we talk about Left Behind while I was gone?
Oh, I did not.
Oh no,
Because,
I've
oh
seen
my
the Kirk
God.
Cameron
Holy
version of
crap.
Left
No,
Behind.
because the Nicolas Cage version is incredible.
That's come out already. I totally
It
didn't
has.
realize
It
it.
came
didn't
and
even know
went
that
like
was out
that.
there.
It was in theaters for maybe a week.
I had no idea.
It's amazing. Go
Wow.
see it. Not even
I've
kidding.
seen the Kirk Cameron Left Behind
It was bad, but it has Nick Cage in it, so
That
it's
was
bad in
pretty
a good
awful.
way.
because I've seen the Kirk Cameron Left Behind because Sean Corse of the Famicom Dojo podcast owned it when we lived together. He was given it as a gift, and he had it for years before anybody opened the shrink wrap on it.
Incredible.
That actually happened to my dad. I'm not kidding. That same thing happened to my dad. I mean,
He
it's
was
a little,
in the shrink wrap for years.
yeah. I mean, it's a little less weird because at the time my dad was teaching like CCD, religious education, for a Catholic school. But it's weird in that Catholics don't do rapture. That's not really part of the whole dogma for them.
I forgot that Need for Speed came out this year.
It did with
never watched
Jesse
it.
Pinkman.
Well, yeah, there were.
Again, it wasn't. I mean, it was obviously trying to be Fast and Furious, but I mean it.
Yeah.
Oh,
But it was based off a video
I'm
game.
trying to remember if
It was.
anything else weird came out this year. I mean,
Well, you know, there's good stuff that came out this year too. We haven't mentioned yet, like the Veronica Mars movie. I liked a lot.
oh, there was a U.S. release for Kikaider Reboot. It was actually pretty good. I liked it. He didn't have a motorcycle at all in it.
Oh, well, then what's the point?
Then what's he riding?
Yeah, that's actually an excellent question that I was processing all day.
Wait,
Did he have his motorcycle?
he had his
parked?
motorcycle parked the whole movie. You
I
should
guess
have been asking
so.
where it was parked.
Did he get a garage? I know he's homeless, but maybe he's renting storage now. Maybe he's done better for himself.
I don't know, but it
It's
was still
entirely
it was
possible.
a pretty damn good movie actually. I liked it.
All right, let's move on to
Let's-
2014 on TV.
Yeah, why don't we? Wow,
Let's talk about what
good year
is
for-
what is the best new TV series for 2014?
Ooh.
This was a big
that's-
year for genre shows. This really
Yeah,
was.
you know, these last 2 years have been all about genre shows. I mean, we saw 2013 had a whole bunch of them. I mean, this
Some
year
survived,
also.
some didn't.
What's that?
Some survived, some didn't.
Some survived, some didn't. I was pretty big on the Flash this year.
Flash was good.
I really enjoy the Flash.
Where
Flash
I don't really
was.
like
I
Arrow
was super
that
excited
much.
for it.
I don't really like Arrow that much, but my wife and I have been really enjoying the Flash.
Like,
I love
my
old
favorite part about the
shows.
Flash, I don't understand why they renamed Wally West Barry Allen, but I thought that was a really weird thing that they did in this one. But other than that, the show is perfect. I mean, it's exactly what I want out of
yeah.
a Flash TV series.
The
I'm a little
mid-season
In
disappointed.
fact, it constantly keeps nodding back to the previous Flash TV series.
It does, and I mean, I normally like I really okay. I do dislike the fact that they killed off a lot of the rogues earlier on in the show. I mean, like Weather Wizard dies right away.
I'm about to say they killed off the crappy rogues though. No one cares about Weather Wizard. You don't care about Weather Wizard.
No, but I mean, still, like it'd be good to have the full rogue gallery there, just for the sake of interaction between them, because there's nothing better than when the rogues are interacting with one
The
another.
ones who matter are fine. Like Captain Boomerang alive, Captain Cold still kicking. Heat Wave
If you were
hasn't
below
even
the
been
rank of
introduced
captain,
yet.
you don't make it.
Like, I really hope Mirror Master stays on when they finally introduce him, because he's my favorite.
I have really been enjoying the Flash. The mid-season finale with what they've done with Reverse Flash, I think has been fantastic.
Yeah.
I loved Flash versus Arrow. Frankly, Batman v Superman is going to have to do a lot to be better than that 1 hour of TV, because that was amazing.
You know what I really like this year is Constantine. I've really been enjoying Constantine.
I don't
I'm
know
with-
that Nick likes Constantine, though. Like, I don't know that Nick would agree with that.
I'm definitely with Trey on this one though. I think Constantine is the strongest show right now. I think it's so well cast. The stories are fascinating, and that moral gray, that's creepy, and that works.
Now, I'm kind of on the fence about Gotham.
I'm not.
I stopped watching it.
Like, it's gotten good. Like, it's actually gotten a lot better. And when it first started, I was like, I don't know that I can get into this. And there's still all sorts of weird things about it. But now it's just one of those sort of shows that it's actually not bad.
You know, I just gave up on Gotham a while ago.
Gotham actually is my vote for worst TV show of this year.
Ouch.
It takes a lot for me to abandon a show, too.
Yeah, but
Although I
oh.
abandoned Arrow.
That wasn't
So-
meant to insult, but it is true, Trey. It takes a lot for you to give up on a show.
But I mean, so we all
abandoned
kind of
Arrow.
agree that The Flash was probably the best new show of 2014.
I don't know. I think
I don't
Trey
know
and
about
I are leaning more toward Constantine.
My vote might go to Constantine.
See, I unfortunately have not seen Constantine yet.
How have you not seen Constantine?
I haven't had time
You're
to
the
sit down and watch
problem.
it.
Yeah, you are the problem for. We
I
need,
know.
we need
You
ratings
are
on
the
this show.
problem for you.
This is exactly the kind of show that shouldn't get canceled because it's smart and scary and awesome.
This is true.
Yeah.
I'll give it. I'll watch it I'll get caught up here on the 3 days that I have off from work in a row next week, and I will watch Constantine while I'm recovering from surgery.
There's only like 7 episodes out right now anyway, so it's...
I will do the thing. It'll be
Yeah,
good.
because it's only a 13-episode season.
So, but let's talk worst TV. I mean, Nick already says Gotham. Because
Just a minute, Harvey. I know this murder case is pretty intense. I better go talk to that 8-year-old whose parents' murder we haven't solved yet. Maybe he has some insight.
I know it's ridiculous. I get that, but let's give I love anything with a penguin in it. I mean, Cobblepot's one of the best villains on TV this year. I mean, he's just like so.
Okay, so I'll admit
the actor playing Penguin is great. No,
yeah,
the actor playing him is
Cobblepot.
Great. But I don't. The rest of the
entire
show.
premise of the damn show doesn't make sense. Gotham's been shown as corrupt before, and it should be, but like, it's like overtly corrupt in ways that don't make any sort of logical sense. Where the National Guard wouldn't be called. Like, police corruption when it occurs has to have the veneer of reality, at least when dealing with white people.
I was about to say Ferguson disagrees, Trey, but okay.
Right. But that's bad stuff happening to white people in those episodes.
Right. Excuse me. All right.
America's full of racists. The show is set in America. I'm being realistic.
It's also weird, like, the last episode I watched was the one where they decided that they needed Black Mask in the show. And he was just the most awesomely ridiculous guy who promotes people at his office by putting them in abandoned office buildings and making them fight with desk supplies.
What's not to love?
And then he puts on a samurai mask and chases Gordon around with a katana. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, no, it was idiotic.
What?
But idiotic in that way where I'm sitting there watching, like, okay, to be fair, I was also drinking during most of that show, so my my perception might be a little bit screwed up. But it's No, my vote for worst TV of 2014. Has anybody seen the show Stalker?
No.
I have not.
Don't. It is so awful. Like, nobody in that show knows how to act, and the whole premise is how much violence can we inflict on women and get away with it on network television.
Oh, Jesus.
It is so bad.
Oh, dear Lord.
I don't know how this show is on television. It's terrible.
Have
bad.
Either of you seen Taxi Brooklyn?
No.
It is by far the worst thing I've ever seen.
Was that
it's mostly I've been exposed to it because the Soup enjoyed mocking it all summer.
Okay.
The premise is a New York detective who had lost her driving privileges hires a taxi driver to drive her to crime scenes. And the NYPD is totally okay with this and lets the taxi driver onto crime scenes and helps her solve crimes. If that wasn't ludicrous enough already, the acting is just awful and terrible in ways that, like, and you can tell everyone on the show just phoned it in because there are actors I've seen on that show who I've seen perfectly well on other shows, like do good performances on other shows, just like totally phone it in on Taxi Brooklyn. It is. I hope it renews. I so hope it gets renewed. Because I want to see Joel McHale make fun of it more.
I did think of one other good show I forgot to mention though. Forever.
Yes.
Forever is a really fun, interesting little show. It's this doctor who can't die, who hasn't been able to die since like the late 1800s. And anytime something kills him, he wakes up in a body of water naked. And basically he goes around trying to solve mysteries and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Or a Wednesday night for me.
And he hangs out with his adopted son who looks several decades older than him. Yeah, it's a really cool show.
So it's pretty much New Amsterdam if the main character was a doctor instead of a cop.
More or less.
Because New Amsterdam, he was hanging out with his biological son or grandson, who was several decades in appearance older, and they didn't have like the waking up in body of water thing, but that's pretty much New Amsterdam as a doctor.
I still like it. It's a pretty fun show.
You know, I haven't seen. I like New Amsterdam.
It's called Forever?
Yeah, Forever. It's on ABC.
I'll have to check
Who
that
wants
out.
to live forever?
That's kind of one of the themes, is that it kind of
Well,
sucks.
same.
Who wants to live forever?
Well, Trey, I don't know about you, but I've got
Highlander
fame. I'm gonna live forever.
God, have you guys never watched the Highlander franchise?
No, I'm not thinking about Highlander. In
What
this
happened? What happened to that?
What?
Like
An
30
immortal
seconds?
character who solves mysteries shows up and you don't think Highlander?
No, because Queen isn't blaring at any point during this.
Queen should be blaring at every point.
Oh God! All right, let's move on to our next best stuff. So 2014, I guess Gotham takes the worst show of 2014 because I'm outvoted here.
Huzzah!
And I guess Constantine gets to West of 2014 again because I'm outvoted.
I want to say it's a tie between Constantine and the Flash.
I'm okay. Yeah, like,
'cause
I'm sure
we're
once I
both
see Constantine, I'll agree. But right now, I'm strictly
Because
on
we
the
all
Flash
like the
section.
Flash.
Yeah,
Yes.
none of us dislike Flash at all, actually.
Yeah.
So, that's a good job for the two of those shows. You won the prestigious Nerd and Tai of 2014.
How about should we take things a little bit more international? Since
I agree. I think we should.
we've been all of us are from the anime convention scene, so we still kind of keep up with this. So best and worst things from Japan 2014.
Gosh, can I just say that my favorite thing to come out of 2014 from Japan was news that we're getting a Gamera movie next year?
That is totally good.
That's my
good
favorite
answer.
thing from
I
Japan
forgot
this
about
year.
that.
Yes.
Like, I knew that, but I forgot about that.
Like, we're getting a Gamera movie in 2015 is the best thing that I've heard in 2014. So that's my vote.
Mine, my best thing was actually that I like comedy anime again. Like, I am not big on most anime comedy. I like Rumiko Takahashi stuff, but other than that, most comedy anime is just yelling, and I don't, I guess in Japan that's really funny, and I just don't get it. But this year, there were two shows that were just killed me every week with laughter. Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun, which made fun of shoujo anime stereotypes at the wazoo and was charming as all get out. And Cool-Headed Mr. Hozuki, which is about Japanese hell, but Japanese hell if it were run like a business, like an office building. And it's just as weird as it sounds. Both were great.
Excellent.
I don't know. Like, that's really I know that both are really obscure, but they're both on Hulu. You should watch them. They're funny.
What's it called again, Nick?
Which one? Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun was the first one, the shoujo anime one, and the other one is I don't remember the full Japanese title, but Hozuki-san, or Cool-Headed Mr. Hozuki.
Okay.
They're both very, very funny.
I'll check those out. Trey?
For me, I'm going to go simple. I'm going to go old school. I'm going to say the re-release of the classic Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
That's my best thing.
I can be down with that.
I actually just finished watching the first like 46 episode story arc, the Queen Beryl thing, with Reina, and I actually was crying for parts of it.
No, it's so good.
Yeah, it's really, really powerful. It has held up really well. Jiminy, that series has held up well.
We should also talk about the worst thing to come out of Japan this year.
Oh gosh.
That leads me to think of Sailor Moon Crystal.
Yeah,
Well, hold on.
yeah.
Can you just say the animation of Sailor Moon Crystal because
The
It's
animation of
not
Sailor Moon
just the
Crystal.
animation. I'm not going to say it's just the animation. There's so many. The most recent episode featured Usagi actually killing herself because her sort of not really boyfriend got hurt.
oh,
Yeah,
that's pretty.
frack this show. Frack the way that it's treated the other Sailor Senshi. If you're not Usagi, you're completely useless. You get no character development, and you spend the most of the episode getting beat up. Or excuse me, if you're a girl who's not Usagi. If you're a guy, you get way more screen time than you need, just as little character development, and yes, the animation is terrible. I'm sorry, it is the most shameless cash grab I've seen in so long, and I have no patience for it anymore.
I was willing to forgive the animation errors, but the storytelling stuff just started to grate at me, and so I abandoned it.
Can we just say, like, in general, the animation for a lot of anime coming over this year wasn't great. There were a lot of things that came in that I mean, I'm not big on dramatical murder, but from what I understand, the animation for that was really, really awful in certain parts, and there was a lot of
Who cares?
apologizing.
It was a yaoi game.
Well, there was just generally a lot of bad animation coming across that they promised they would have had to fix or whatnot. So that's
The
kind of
best part about dramatical murder coming over is that the people became fans of it who had no idea what the origins of it were. And then, like, when some of them, like, found it, like, by searching tags on Tumblr.
That's your first mistake, searching tags on Tumblr. But I don't know. On a more serious note, I think the worst thing to come out of Japan, and this is the environmentalist in me talking. CO2 emissions from Japan are the highest in 2014. Were the highest they've ever been since they've started recording that information.
Ouch. Jesus.
Yeah,
Oof.
it had been going down in years past, but unfortunately, this year was not a good year for it.
I had another one other than Crystal, but it seems so petty compared to that.
Yeah.
What? At least tell us what it was.
Sunrise Studios becoming that company that Between Gundam series produces mediocre mecha anime with graphic rape scenes.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is the second year
I
in a
don't know
row.
if that sounds, like, minor compared to Crystal.
I
Like,
yeah,
graphic rape scenes is usually worse than anything else in my book.
I guess for me it's more that Sailor Moon has so much more cultural impact, but like in terms of like
Could've been
how many
worse.
people are actually watching and caring. But yeah, Sunrise, it started last year with the series that I've said it before. I can't believe it still haunts me. Valvrave. That show still
Angry?
hurts me. I'm still
That was our
angry
worst thing out
at
of
Valvrave.
Japan in 2013, wasn't it?
I think it
Mhm.
was.
It was least on the
And
list.
then it was on the list. It should be because my opinions on Kill la Kill have softened like 1,000%. But
Were
yeah,
you going to say Kill la Kill was the worst thing? Was that going to be your worst stuff for a while?
last year, yeah,
Yeah.
um,
I'm
yeah,
not fond
but
of Kill la
Was
Kill.
that last year already?
That was last year, dude.
2013?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kill la Kill was last year. Attack on Titan was last year.
Ugh,
Mhm.
I thought it was this year.
no,
Anyway,
that was last year. Sunrise, they did it again. They did in the Cross Angie, which inspired my Theron Martin write-up earlier this year. Yeah, they yet again decided that their series needed that their incredibly stupid show needed a graphic rape scene, and I'm really getting sick of that, and I'm uncomfortable with it because I know a lot of the money that I spend like showing support to anime goes to Sunrise because Gundam has been really good these last couple of years. But Between Gundam, they just keep producing these things and I'm not comfortable with it. It's really gross. Ugh.
That's pretty
Yeah.
bad. So, what do we want to call for best and worst of out of Japan? Best of, what do we think? My vote's for Gamera, new Gamera movie coming out in 2015.
We
I
maybe
kind
we
of want to
should.
save that for 2015.
Well, we already know it's going to be our best thing out of Japan in 2015. Let's be honest here. But the news is
Well, we
kind of the
don't know.
greatest.
What if it turns out to be Gamera Crystal?
Could we?
Oh.
Every time we get a bad reboot, are we just going to call it Blank Crystal from here
I
on
think-
out? Because I'm up
can
for
we?
that.
That's what
I'm
I'm doing
totally
for a
up
while
for that.
now.
I'm super, super up for that. You know what we could argue is a best thing out of Japan 2014, although it's kind of pushing it. Godzilla getting popular again. Godzilla getting coming out of retirement because
Now they're going to do a new movie with that, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Godzilla got relevant again, and his new movie was still pretty good. I didn't like it as much as you guys did, but it wasn't bad.
Okay.
Godzilla parts
I
are
can
good.
I can drink water to that. I'm game with
Godzilla's
that.
back. our-
Worst thing?
Yeah,
Crystal.
Crystal.
So we have that. Congratulations, Sailor Moon Crystal and Godzilla getting popular again. Congratulations on your Nerd and Tie Award. We got to come up with a name for that. Can we call it like the Calvin Award or the Windsor Award, like Tie Knot? You know.
Then what would we call the worst?
Well, it's still like
The clip on.
the clip on,
It's just the clip on.
the clip on. So we'll call the worst the clip on and the best the Windsor. How about that?
Okay.
Congratulations on your Windsor, Godzilla, and congratulations on your clip on Sailor Moon Crystal. Moving on, 2014 was also a pretty big year in video games. We saw the three next generation consoles pick up a lot of steam this year on the market, as well as the handheld systems really kind of take off. At least if you're the 3DS, you really took off. So, gentlemen, what do we think about our best and worst games in 2014?
I absolutely love my 3DS. I think it's one of the best purchases I've made recently. But that said, my favorite game was actually an import game someone sent me from Japan. It was Gundam Breaker, which is a very fun over-the-shoulder action game that allows you to customize your mecha to the same degree that you'd be able to do if you were customizing a Gundam model kit. So you can mix and match parts, do your own paint job. Someone actually made the Ingram from Patlabor, and that's running around in there somewhere.
So that's your vote, Nick.
So yeah,
I didn't get a
really
chance to
enjoyed
play
that.
that one.
Yeah, no one's going to agree with that, but
I'll be honest, I didn't really get to play a lot of video games this year. I really, really enjoyed the new Smash Brothers game. I have a lot of fun whenever I play that one. That one's good.
needing to pick that up. I really should.
It's a blast. I mean, you can't go wrong with Smash Brothers. God, I'm trying to think of other things that came out this year, and that's the one that really stands out in my mind as being really, really good. For me. So.
I mean, I know everyone picked it up, but the new Pokemon game was fun.
Oh, okay. See, the problem is I don't really play video games.
Trey, did you play any recent games? You there? There you are.
Let me think. I've been playing a lot of The Sims, but that came out before 2014.
Yeah, to be honest, the best gaming experience I had this year was Metal Gear Solid 1 for the PlayStation 1. So that tells you how many new games I've been playing.
So I'm going to say, I'm just going to bullshit for a moment here.
Okay.
My favorite game of 2014 was BLT. It was, it was technically the bacon, lettuce, and trailer for Silent Mills. As I'm No, so, honestly, if I was going to pick something out of the stuff that I wanted to play but didn't, it would be PT, the playable trailer for Silent Hills.
Mm.
As I've watched enough walkthroughs to say it's probably the most genuinely scary video game experience I've ever witnessed. But I don't own a PlayStation, so I couldn't play it myself.
I have a PlayStation 3, and now I'm behind a generation again. So, and knowing me, I'm not gonna probably pick up a PS4 for a while yet. So, meh.
You know what's funny? We usually rely on Fur for this section of our best of and worst of.
Because we really don't game much. I game, but I buy old games because they're cheap, and I'm poor. So
Yeah. But if I switch to the 3-shot here, video viewers may notice that Fur's chair is empty. So he's left us to discuss the topic we really don't know anything about. That we rely
I'm gonna
on
be
him.
honest. I really do like the 3DS though. Like that was. I shouldn't even call it my purchase. It was a gift to me, and I think it's a really great system. And I know it's been out for a while, but I'm glad it's a thing. I'm really glad it's a thing.
Well, everything I've seen, it's a good handheld.
It's a really nice handheld. The 3D functions actually are cool. I thought I wouldn't even need it, but no, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I mean, the DS is a good system, so it kind of just expanded on what was already a good thing.
Exactly.
Which, frankly, Nintendo's kind of been good at that. Boy.
So I have no idea what to name as the worst game.
Well, let's see.
Flappy Bird?
Flappy Bird.
Flappy Bird. Flappy Bird's our worst game of 2014.
They had a giant setup of that at DaishoCon, or rather at the Kalahari. They had giant competitive Flappy Bird. I wish I was kidding.
That's actually kind of awesome. But giant competitive most things is pretty awesome.
This is true. Yeah, I wish I really don't know the gaming scene too. I did want to try out that Disney Infinity game, mostly because I just want to run around as Captain America smashing things in every way I can. So,
That's supposed to be pretty good from everything I've read.
Yeah. I heard it's really entertaining for like any age group too, which I don't really deal with kids as much as I used to anymore, but that's still pretty baller.
Okay, so I'm going to go with no consensus on best game of 2014, and Flappy Bird's our worst game of 2014.
Works for me. Clip on for Flappy Bird.
All right, let's move on to comics.
Sorry, I didn't get my vote for worst video game. Watch Dogs was really disappointing.
Okay, well
we decided it was Flappy Bird without you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Was that this year? I thought that was last year.
That was this year.
Was Flappy Bird 2014?
Yep.
It was now.
Like February 2014, but 2014.
Okay, I guess I can agree with that. Game of War was pretty bad too. Not that I played it, but those commercials are annoying as all get out. How are we going to sell this game? I know. Let's show off Kate Upton's massive tracts of land. Like that's the whole marketing strategy behind that one.
I guess I didn't see those ads.
Yeah,
How have you avoided them? They're like everywhere.
Right? How did you manage to not
I don't watch
them?
TV.
They're on the internet everywhere. Everywhere you go, it's literally like, oh, play this game because Kate Upton's Athena, and she's scantily clad, which is not something Athena would ever probably. It's.
Ad blockers?
Oh, I suppose, but like.
All right. Let's move on to comics.
Best
and worst out of comics in 2014. My favorite thing that came out this year was the new run of Miss Marvel. The Kamala Khan Miss Marvel.
Yes.
I've been meaning to read those. I still haven't gotten to.
So good. It's the entire run is just fantastic so far. I'm a huge fan.
From what I've read of it, I can agree that that's a thing.
It's
Good.
doing well because my local comic shop, every time I go in to pick up an issue to try it out, it's always sold out. Like it's
Well, it's
always
also
sold
been
out.
Marvel's top performer digitally.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna go on to Comixology and pick up the run, I guess, because
that's what I've done.
I
I'll have to
liked
do-
what I've seen of it, but I really want to read it.
It is
I actually, sorry, go
very
ahead.
good and worth picking up.
How many issues in are they? Because that started back in.
Start at the beginning of the year.
Okay, so they're about 12 in right now.
Yeah, I can tell you in a second because I have all of them. On device. There are 9 issues out.
Okay, so it wouldn't take too long to catch up either. Cool.
No,
Yeah,
it really,
no, it's and the first story they've put a trade collection out, so you can get that cheaper if you buy it together.
Oh, that's cool. That they already finished up a storyline, huh?
Let's say yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I might have to go pick that up then.
So, honestly,
Another
I
one
haven't
that
read
stood
many
out.
other. Yeah, I haven't really read
go
a
ahead.
whole lot this year, other than what I've read of the Captain Marvel. So I would
yeah,
give
Captain
that.
Marvel's different than Miss Marvel now.
Yeah. Yep. Sorry. Yes.
I've also enjoyed just an honorable mention. It's not far enough into it yet, but the new run of Secret Six.
Oh, Gail Simone will be very happy to hear that you liked it, because she listens to our podcast.
She does.
Yeah, except
She's a
I
fan of
picked
the
her
show.
comic as my favorite comic last year, and it got canceled with the movement.
So you're not doing it again, just out of.
So I'm not picking Secret Six because I want Secret Six
My,
to keep happening. I want Miss Marvel to keep happening too, but I have more faith in Marvel than DC.
That's probably a fair bet. That's a.
My favorite book was actually more of an indie book. No, not super indie. It was Image, but still, not as big name. And that's Brian Vaughan and Fiona Staples' Saga. They
I've
are
heard good things about Saga.
Saga is just it's an amazing experience. It's vulgar. It's unflinchingly cruel to its characters, but it also has characters with more heart, depth, and humanity than almost any other comic I've read. It's part fantasy, part science fiction. It's overtly sexual, but never pornographic. Brian Vaughan's writing is beautiful. Fiona Staples' art matches everything in a way that I'm excuse me, I'm really at a loss for words out of how good this book is. I do recommend it for any of our mature readers out there. Not for the younger set at all, but I never thought that a comic book about two parents trying to bring up their baby in space could be so interesting. It's really, really something.
Oh, I did. I guess one thing I really liked this year, and again, Matt Fraction, who continues to be probably one of the best writers in comics. Him and Chip Zdarsky, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Sex Criminals. Have you guys read that one yet? It's
No.
I heard it was good. I finally
it's
read Hawkeye, but
it's incredible and goofy and outlandish. It's essentially about it's about a couple that when they have sex, they freeze time and space. So what they start doing is they start robbing banks with this power. Like
Of course they do.
It's incredible, and like it's obviously like really graphic. It's but it's not
angry.
it's not pornographic. I mean, like that's the thing about it. It's actually like done in a really great sort of like an approach at how sex is looked at in the comic book industry. And it's it's perfect Matt Fraction writing. Like if you liked Hawkeye, you're gonna love this. Like Trey's shaking his head at me like, what are you talking about? But this is incredible, Trey. I recommend it. It's so ridiculously goofy.
I talk about like empowering stories that
This
bring
is
much needed
empowering, though.
representation to comics. You talk about people banging to rob banks.
It's more than that. It's
I love the way you put that.
like there's no way. Like it's not pornographic though. Like it's just read it.
Well, now
Trey.
it's just disappointing comic about people banging to rob banks.
Trey, I recommend. Okay, read a couple issues and then get back to me on it. It's phenomenal. I mean, like this is it's goofy as all get out. I mean,
I'm interested enough just out of the fact that I did finally read Fraction's run on Hawkeye, and it's a fantastic book. So, yeah.
All right. What's the worst thing in comics this year?
Was the thing with Harley Quinn killing herself? Was that this year?
I don't remember anymore.
I thought that might have been last year.
I think that was last year.
I'm just gonna say that Wonder Woman and Superman are still dating.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have
That was
one,
my worst thing last year, and I stick with it because it's still happening.
I have one to follow up from last year, and it's an apology. Because I rated among my best comics last year, Rick Remender's on Captain America, and I apologize to everyone listening because that comic went to crap really fast. Like, really, really fast. Good God. It has nothing to do with the Falcon being Captain America. I haven't actually read that book yet. All of the stuff of just leading up to Steve's not being Cap, the end of the Dimensions Z story arc, every way the characters have been treated. Oh, Falcon getting drunk with a girl that he barely knows and not remembering having sex with her. That's awful and out of character. It's a bad book. It's a really bad book.
so Nick
That
retracts
sounds
his
terrible.
and adds that to his worst stuff, and that
Yes.
sounds awful. I don't know. I guess. Well, no, because that got canceled last year too. I guess I didn't really have any bad things about comics, like specifically, and I mean, there's always
the
the DC,
permeating bullcrap that
from
exists
DC.
within the comics industry.
and I mean we've got the DC Carnival of Sadness, which is a constant, which is a presence. We can. How about those terribly licensed shirts? That was pretty bad.
Score.
That's very true.
Okay. Well. Okay. So what are we giving our best ofs to here?
I'm saying Miss Marvel.
I'm gonna say Sex Criminals. I mean, like Trey, I know you're looking at me with disgust right now. Like, what is he on? But no, if you read this book,
Look, I'm not
You would-
saying it's bad, but I'm not saying it's as good. And I'm saying it is bad as pornography.
it's clever and funny and
If I buy something called Sex Criminals, I better see some sex.
oh, it's there, it's in there. But I mean, it's not done in a
It's not
pornographic way because it's done in a realistic way.
You know how, like, when they make a big budget pornographic film, they sometimes release a rated R cut?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
That's what it's like.
Just read the book. Just read it and get back to me on it.
I could be a tiebreaker, but I really like Saga, you guys.
So
All right, so we're just split on the comic this year.
I guess every one of you
All right,
gets
that's
a
fine.
Windsor. That's fine.
What's our worst thing? I'm gonna say Batman and one Batman. What the heck's wrong with my mouth?
You're probably
just
thinking
flew.
of the Bruce Tim Paul Dini animated universe where Batman and Wonder
That I'd
Woman
be
had
cool
a
with.
romance, which was actually awesome. Yeah, that.
But no, the Wonder Woman Superman romance continuing. I'm against it.
Yeah, I guess I can be down with that too. I give that my vote.
Back in the 80s, George Perez wrote a Wonder Woman issue specifically about why that wouldn't work. Yeah, that happened.
Well, if George Perez says it's wrong,
Yes.
There was a time when that meant something in DC.
there were times when lots of things meant different things to different people, wearing different pants.
Indeed.
They're
So
all wearing different pants.
So worst. The clip-on goes to the clip-on goes
I think
to Wonder Woman, Superman. I would say.
Conventions.
It's so hard to name a worst because I think we're all going to agree that DashCon was the worst, but none of us went.
Yeah. I mean, DashCon, I know people who went.
I do too.
Yeah, let's just say it's DashCon. DashCon was the worst.
DashCon's the worst. I think the real question is going to be See, the problem with the best is such a subjective experience.
Well,
because
let's look at the ones that all three of us went together. All three of us were at No Brand Con. We were all three at GeekCon, and we were all at DaishoCon.
Daisho.
Those are the three that all three of us went to. No Brand Con, I was running around as a staff member, so I didn't really get a chance to see the convention other than through the lens of a staffer.
I had a lot of fun.
I mean, I had fun too, but not as a con goer. As a con runner. Then let's look at GeekCon, where we had our first ever secret podcast at 3:30 in the morning because of the fire alarm going off.
GeekCon was really damn good.
I love GeekCon.
I had way too much fun at GeekCon, actually.
I think I did too. I think I had more fun at GeekCon than I've had at just about any convention this year. So I don't know. Trey, what did you think of GeekCon?
GeekCon was good. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Sorry. There's a moment of biology that took over there.
I hear you. It's been happening to me all show.
But
we're sick.
We're ill.
Yay. The illest podcast of the year. What other conventions did I went to Anime Fusion, although that one's going to hold a special place in my heart because I met my girlfriend there. That was her in the background. I get brownie points.
I liked In Conjunction, which was a little sci-fi con I did in Indianapolis. Actually, probably the best time I had a con without you guys was the Independent Show, a one-day show for just independent comics in Indianapolis this last spring. Followed closely by probably NazumiCon, a little microcon in Milwaukee that I do every January.
That's one on campus, right?
Yeah, it's on the MyEd campus, the Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design. I'm going to be doing a panel there in January on podcasting. You should go there.
What weekend is this?
I think it's January 24th. I'd have to look at the calendar. It's whatever's a Saturday. I think it's the 24th.
For little cons that were fun, I really enjoyed KiroshiCon. This is like really small, like one-day event, but I had a lot of fun there. All I did was sell things, but meh.
And then we all three went to DaishoCon, which was pretty good. There were a lot of hiccups, I think, for all of us that weekend.
My weekend went pretty smoothly. I was awesome.
Mine was all right, I guess.
Once Daisho got rolling for me, I was doing good. Got to do some cosplay again, albeit lazy cosplay.
Hey, it was one of the best costumes I saw all weekend.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm just blown away that so few people thought I was Castiel, and that is more than enough.
So, I don't know. What do we think? I'm throwing my vote to GeekCon.
For a con that all three of us were at, I'll go GeekCon. For a convention that you guys weren't there with me, I'm going to go NazumiCon.
I'll also, for one we were all at, GeekCon was a real party. I did have fun. I don't know if I have a favorite that you guys weren't at.
I would
mostly
say
because all I can think of is Kiroshi.
Yeah, the favorite that I went to that you guys weren't at, I would say was Anime Fusion for me.
Oh,
That was a
wait.
fun weekend.
One Fur was at, but Trey was not. Actually, I wanted to give some love out to Kitsune-con as well.
Yeah,
Um,
Kitsune.
If only, partly because of Otaku Tonight's shenanigans there, and partly because it was one of the only times that the big mecha anime group that we have yet to name, but Midwest-located mecha anime fan Tumblr I know, all were in the same place, and we were all dorks together, and it was amazing.
Plus, we had Tiffany Grant help film that thing.
That's true.
That's right,
Tiffany
you guys
Grant
made
helped
that-
us film the Godzilla movie.
And you can find that on nerdandtie.com if you look hard enough.
It's out there. It's there.
It's on the site.
So congratulations,
Oh my God,
GeekCon. You get the Windsor for Best Con of 2014
That all three of us were at.
that all three of us were at.
Three of us.
Of the
And
other
the
cons
worst
we
con of the
mentioned,
year, none of
Dash.
us were at.
Yep.
And it was DashCon.
And it might not be back next year, but if it is, we're going to try to be there.
It won't be. Remember,
pretty
it got
dead.
canceled. We did a
I know.
whole story about that.
But you never know. Anything can happen.
Nah, it's dead.
It's super dead.
Well, guys, why don't we now we've talked about so far just very specific things in 2014. Why don't we go kind of around the horn here and talk about our personal favorites of 2014? Who would like to start? Should I start? Oh, perfect. Okay. Well, as everybody
Yeah, go
knows,
for it.
I'm kind of our music guy here at Nerd and Tie. And I
Which
would
can sometimes be really depressing for all of you at home wondering.
So 2014 was a very good year for music. Spoon released a new album after coming off of hiatus for the first time since 2010. They Want My Soul, which for those who haven't heard it, it's a phenomenal sort of an experimental sound for them. If you like your driving guitar rhythms, Spoon is the way to go. We saw a lot of
I actually
great
did
new.
like that album.
Yeah, They Want My Soul is phenomenal. I mean, it's in my top 3. The Black Keys released a new album, which I didn't like at first, but it's slowly grown on me. But I would say that my favorite album of 2014 was the Hold Steady's Teeth Dreams, because I don't know many bands that make all of their albums about people living in or around the Minneapolis-St. Paul area and are able to reference specific spots in that area consistently. And this was probably one of the best albums I have ever heard in my life. So check out Teeth Dreams by Hold Steady in 2014, or from 2014. That's my personal favorite thing of 2014.
Can we
I stay out too late.
stop
Got
it?
nothing in my plate. Wait, no,
Because
sorry.
we-
I
So
don't want to
Instagram.
get sued
Say,
for crappy music.
people say.
hey, too many dates. All right, that's
You
enough of
gave
that.
good recommendations. Stop giving suggestions for 13-year-olds.
Hey, Shake It Up is probably my 4th favorite song of 2014.
really good.
Third favorite song. It's amazing. I love it.
Awful song.
I'll admit that I've historically not been a fan of Taylor Swift, but
It's a good song.
this
Have you
new
heard the
album's
full?
pretty tight.
Right? I was shocked
I
at how
would
good
rather-
1989 is.
I would rather shove an electric screwdriver into my ear than hear that song ever again.
Nick,
I'm
listen
on
to the
this
album.
right now.
Listen to
Jeez.
the album, Nick. It's good stuff.
Please stop. So if we're just talking about random cool things from 2014, one thing that I want to put on my list are some of Hasbro's cool toys that they've done for Transformers turning 35. Not the least of which being Leader Class Jetfire, who is a toy version of a victory lap around Harmony Gold for trying to sue them for a toy that kind of looks like a Robotech plane. To get back, Hasbro just straight up made a 30th anniversary Jetfire that is it is the VF1J from Macross. It's not even hiding it very well. Its head is literally the VF1J from Can't do the in-between Gearwalk mode. I don't care. It's an awesome toy. I love it. Looks really great on the shelf, incidentally. One other thing that I want to shout out for 2014 that was awesome, Tokusatsu Love here in the States. Yeah, sure, it led to Trey and Fur asking me about where does Kikaider park his bike, but...
Kikaider, where do you park your motorcycle? Kikaider, whoa.
Damn. Not only did Kikaider Reboot get a US release, though, but the original Super Sentai series Zyuranger, the show that that the footage from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers came from, is getting a US release February next year. So
Nice.
This is just such a great year for Tokusatsu. I'm really happy.
Dude.
I'm gonna pick up Zyuranger. It's not even funny because I loved Power Rangers growing up. I can't wait to see the Japanese version. I bet it's completely ludicrous. And yeah.
I actually probably will never watch it because the only thing that I really loved about the original Power Rangers was the American theme song.
Go Power Rangers.
With the wicked guitar solo.
No, that it's an amazing theme song. I think part of it, though, is just that I still like Toku and I like these Japanese superhero shows, partly because of my theater background. I love low-budget special effects. And I love kind of this more simplistic form of filmmaking. It's really make-believe-y, and I just dig that.
Very cool, very cool. Trey?
That's what people say. Ooh, ooh.
Yeah, that is what people say.
What is my favorite? You know, I have too much fever brain. I didn't actually think about this. Because we've pretty much listed all my favorite things that came out this year.
Because 2014 was also the year My Immortal Season 2 came out.
I did love My Immortal Season 2.
Maybe
My Immortal
Ron's
Season
Day.
2. That's it. Thank you.
Good
My
answer.
Immortal Season 2 was epic. And Ron's Day is the best episode of any TV series ever.
Nice.
I love Ron's Day.
It's good stuff. So,
In fact, the phrase, and it's even Ron's Day, has entered my vocabulary.
Nice.
Perfect. Well, guys, before we get into newsletters, I don't know. This is something I forgot to bring up in the rundown, but I think we should talk. Maybe briefly mention. What is one thing you guys are looking forward to in 2015?
Other than Zyuranger. Crutters.
Age of Ultron?
Yeah. Yeah.
See, I'm excited for the new Squirrel Girl comic.
Yeah. That looks cool.
I think that's going to
I
be
love
good.
Squirrel Girl.
And Age of Ultron.
Gundam the Origin. Even though I hate the CG, I'm looking forward to seeing how that turns out.
Very good. So,
Baby
That's what
Shark.
people say.
ooh. So why don't we go to mailbag? Who do we want to start with today?
Well, I think Nick's got something from Random Ramblings to read.
Yeah,
He sure
he
does.
was our first letter that we got. And our subject is one last tidbit. Greetings and salutations, Nerd and Tie. By this time, the holidays have passed us by, and I hope you've enjoyed them with your family and friends and other loved ones. Fair warning, this will probably be the longest mailbag I've written, but only because there's so much to say. First, Trey, is it okay to start making jokes about DC Comics pulling progress out their ass? Their
Yes.
backpedaling on the Wonder Woman movie is more annoying than Star Trek V's attempts at humor. Pretty much. Can I just say called it? Back when DC made these announcements, I'm like, I'm not going to believe it till I see a trailer. And look at that. They haven't greenlit crap.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would
Next up,
Yeah.
I thought it might Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to agree. I agree with that.
Okay. I thought it might be prudent to bring up the interesting piece of news related to a certain secret agent who's had mixed feelings about, or excuse me, who we've had secret agent who we've had mixed feelings about for over 50 years. Earlier in the month, MGM announced the title of the 24th James Bond film, also fourth starring Daniel Craig. What a reveal it was! Spectre. Yep, the copyright issues surrounding one of the most popular and spoofed evil organizations in fiction have been settled, and it looks like 007 will once again face off with Spectre, along with quantum and political intrigue. The cast is shaping up nicely, with Christoph Waltz as the villain, Dave Bautista as the main henchman, Leah Sado, is that how you pronounce her name? I'm not sure.
I don't know. You volunteered to take the letter.
Okay, I should have looked that up. I'm sorry. Anyway, Leah Sado, hope I said that right, and Monica Bellucci as Bond girls, and returning from previous films are Ralph Fiennes as M,
Rafe.
What?
Rafe
Fiennes.
Oh,
it
wow.
Looks like Ralph. It's not.
My
Ralph.
grandpa's name is Ralph. Forgive me. Anyway, Ray Fiennes as M,
okay.
Ben Winshaw as Q, Naomi Harris as Moneypenny, Rory Kinnear as Tanner, and Jasper Christensen, what a great name, as Mr. White. We've also got Sam Mendes returning as director, along with most of the crew from Skyfall. Spectre is due to be released on November 6, 2015. I don't know about anyone else, but I'm excited for 007's new adventure.
I think it should be good.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm a little skeptical. Okay, so I've always been a big James Bond fan, but the problem I've had with the Daniel Craig Bond movies is pretty much any Daniel Craig Bond girl is guaranteed to be killed off before the end of the film.
That's true.
I don't like that.
I've actually liked all of Daniel Craig's movies, even Quantum I didn't think was that bad, but I still feel Casino Royale was the best of the set, and I don't feel like they've gotten nearly as good a movie as that one was. I know a lot of people say it wasn't a perfect Bond movie, but I think it was just a better movie, period. But that's me. Also, Spectre's logo looks like the Hydra logo, which I find funny. Anyway. I want to give a word of thanks to Nerd and Ty for giving me and many needed laughs and stories in a particularly dim year. Hopefully 2015 will yield a greater amount of luck and optimism for us all. And so I close this mailbag with a thought. Chris Pratt as James T. Kirk. Yes. All of the yes.
Not as James T. Kirk, but in spirit, Star-Lord is James T. Kirk.
Yes.
A little bit.
So I'll say that.
Extreme. He did try
There are many things wrong with the Abrams-verse Star Trek films. The casting is not one of them.
He did try to seduce a green woman with pelvic magic.
He did.
All right, let's move on. I think we got one from Gen.
Yeah, we do have one from Gen.
Hate you both.
I love haters gonna hate, Nick.
Normal people don't have haters.
Shake it off.
No one can relate to that song.
Everyone on the show has haters,
right? No, we all do. And they're all just gonna hate, and we're just gonna
and the player's
shake,
gonna
shake,
play,
shake.
play.
And the baker's gonna bake.
I'm gonna bake it off. What?
Bake it off. Anyway, we got a letter from Gen. Gen writes, "Happy Festivus and Happy Fmas. It's that time of year again. I've set up the aluminum poll, so please feel free to air some of your grievances or report some Festivus miracles from the past year. Also, what was the worst gift you've ever given? And what was the worst gift you've ever received? Feliz Navidad, y'all."
See, I did Fmas for so many years. And I was the present distributor. So I didn't make the frame picture of Hitler. But I made sure it went to
the right person.
I don't know the context of any of this.
Okay, so in Otaku
vast
Anonymous,
majority of
Let's
the
not give him
listeners
any
don't either.
context. Let's not give any context.
we
About
also
Trey,
used
'cause
to give Ziggy the Otaku dating kit every year, which was usually a hentai video cassette, a sock, and some hand lotion. Or we'd give people out-of-date calendars that wouldn't be accurate for another 10 years.
I think the worst gift that I've ever given was a really uncomfortable a hentai that we picked up at Anime Milwaukee because I'm like, this will be good for an FMS gift. And boy was it ever. I think the receiver of it said he buried it in his backyard.
You have to understand, with the Otaku dating kit one, with the sock, the video, the hand lotion, and various variations, we gave that to Ziggy every year for like 5 years. When he didn't come to the party, we went and found him and gave it to him. We were awful. When he would try to like walk far away from us to pretend he wasn't with us, we used to sing "We Totally Know That Guy" to the melody of Feliz Navidad loudly 20 feet behind him. Oh God, we were so mean to Ziggy.
Oh my God.
Incredible.
We were
That's
so
awful.
Oh, we were terrible people.
But, I don't think there's a worst gift I've ever been given. Because all gifts are given with some kind of thought, and that's what counts.
Yeah, mine were given with horrible thoughts.
I don't think. Is that,
So,
Closest
Nick,
thing
do
to
you
a
have
bad
anything on
gift
that?
The closest thing to a bad gift I've ever, because that's the thing, people like me for some reason, and even when they have the opportunity to give me really silly, insane gifts, they end up just giving me really nice things instead. So, like the only like hilariously awful gift I've ever received was when my shortly after I made my Rudolph video, my parents sent me a bunch of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer coloring books. This was while I was in college, mind you. So yeah.
Right on. So, okay.
All right, let's move on to the next letter. Because
Who
the
we got
show's
next
running
letter
long.
from? Yes, let's keep going.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Nick, you've got the next one.
Hey, this is from my man Archimize. 2015 year in review. That's
Wow,
right,
he's a whole
nerds
year
and
ahead.
ties. It's Archimize from the future. That's right, nerds and ties. It's time for the 2015 year-end review. When you talk about all the craziness that happened in 2015, my question for the team is, what was your favorite speculated event that happened in nerddom? Have a great new year. See you in the future, Space Cowboys. Archimize.
My favorite speculated thing was that Benedict Cumberbatch was going to be in everything.
Well, it's not really speculation so much as a certainty.
It's just a certainty, but like, there was rumors that he was going to be on the Star Wars set, that he was gonna he was everywhere. He was going to be in everything, and he kind of is.
Let me see. What's my prediction for next year? The head of DC is going to rip off a mask and reveal themselves to be a spider creature from the nth dimension. They will then explain that they have no such thing as gender and dating upon their planet, and that all of this is foreign to them, and that will explain all of DC's policies and editorial for the last 100 years. I have a fever.
It will be, fans will be amazed in 2015 as the new Star Wars film opens and people line up expecting this to be the second coming of everything. The movie turns out to be pretty good, in fact, really good, but everyone is still disappointed because their hopes are so incredibly high.
Oh, my predicted thing in 2015 is going to be Robert Orci will submit a script for Star Trek 3-ish, but it's going to be rejected when it's nothing but 100 pages of steel can't be burned by fire.
Hasn't he been fired?
He has, but he's still going to submit a script.
Yeah, we haven't reported on that yet because I've been sick and not updating the webpage.
He's still going to submit a script, and it's going to be nothing
so
with him.
Canned. Oh.
So, that's our predictions for 2015. Archivise. Hope they're good for you. We got a letter here from a Furby Biscuit. This one doesn't have an email address attached to it, doesn't have a subject attached to it, and the message merely says, "The lamp." I agree, Furby Biscuit. The lamp is indeed the lamp.
You need to buy a lamp for.
That's really creepy. I
have a
think
lamp. It just casts a bad light on me. I need a better lighting in my living room.
Lamp.
I don't have any. Oh, I could move it up there, but that would require me to.
The video. You know, guys at home, I've never looked at the video feed.
Yeah. No, I mean it could be like there's a stack of stuff up here.
What would pop up on screen for him?
Like I've got a bunch of stuff up here that I could theoretically move the lamp if I moved all this junk off of this countertop, but I'm never over here enough to do it.
Fur also likes to make sure his camera angle goes right up his nose.
Mm-hmm. I've been told this.
Sexy. See, I on the other hand put my laptop on top of a cardboard box.
You know, that's a great idea. Maybe I should do that.
I'm not kidding. It's when I record the show, I put my laptop up on a cardboard box.
I'll do that from now on. See, I like to do the whole like seated like Dutch angle from the Batman '60s TV series.
Except it literally makes everybody look fatter.
Well, you know,
like I'm fat, but I don't need to look fatter than I am.
That explains why I look a little chubbier on the camera. That all makes sense now. I'm not a director. I'm an actor. What do you want from me?
Nick in the group shot, as he always looks disgusted with whatever we're talking about.
I don't know what I look like.
So what else do we have?
Let's move on to our last letter.
It's another one from Random Reblogs Man.
It also comes from the Random Ramblings Man, who apparently forgot he wrote in a letter for this episode. Subject, Mystery Men. Hey guys, I know this is very, very late and there's no time to read and discuss. I understand. But seeing as this has been on my mind for the past several days, I thought it might be a good idea to share one last question for discussion to Nerd and Ty before the year is out. I know I'm probably alone in this, but wouldn't it be nice if DC adapted some of its Golden Age properties to the screen? Enough of Superman and Batman, I say. Let's see some Crimson Avenger and the Sandman Mystery Theater. We've seen far too little of the original mystery men and women that kicked off superheroes in comic books, in my opinion. What do you guys think? Well, I know the Sandman Mystery Theater isn't going to happen because they're trying to adapt the Neil Gaiman Sandman, which is occupying that trademark currently. See,
the unfortunate thing with I love that early genre of comics where it was really just detectives in dumb costumes. I shouldn't say dumb costumes, but you know what? I say dumb lovingly. The thing that has hurt that film adaptation is the fact that Frank Miller's The Spirit happened. The Spirit is one of my.
So much.
Yeah, the Spirit is one of my favorite terrible movies, but that's just it. It's an awful, awful movie.
I'm just bothered by, like, the term Frank Miller's The Spirit. Like
when it's an adaptation of Will Eisner's
Will Eisner, yeah. And Will Eisner's name just got, like, chucked out. Of course, I don't know if Will Eisner would want his name attached to the film that came out.
Well, he and Frank Miller are friends, so I don't know. I mean...
Oh.
Like, yeah. Weird, huh?
I forgot that Will Eisner wasn't dead.
No, he's still quite alive.
I have a fever. My temperature is currently over 100 degrees. I cannot be blamed for any of this. I'm producing a show with a fever.
Yeah, I mean, I have a copy of that movie. It is within reach from where I am sitting, but
I'm sorry.
But it is not a good movie. It really is not. And I think that has kind of colored it hasn't just colored people's palates, but with how overly simplistic Hollywood is with how they analyze movie success. If you would try to submit any of these classic costume detective characters, their reaction would be, well, the spirit didn't do very good. Guess we shouldn't try it. Brr. They would make the brr noise. That's just part of what they do. Ignore me. No. I thought you guys disappeared for a second.
No,
No,
we were
I'm
just
here.
listening, and I was containing myself
What?
physically.
Oh.
We're sick. We're
I'm-
ill.
See, if I could actually see you guys, I could, like, cover by watching your body language, but I can't. So I'm...
Like, Fur's literally huddled under a blanket.
Yeah,
I mean- Just to, for the video viewers, you can see he is literally in a blanket. And I will tell you a secret. The only reason I'm wearing this sequined green Santa hat is to hide how gross I am.
that's
We are-
rough. But
We are all terribly gross people, yet we're the ones on camera. Haha. So,
What you see is what you get, guys. Oh, yeah. That's
yeah.
legitimate Nick Izumi up in here.
All
Trey,
right.
why don't you take us into the final segment, Trey?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. The Vomit Hat Steve Challenge. Oh, God.
It's bad now that you're sick. Now you have to say vomit. I mean, that was kind of cruel.
Awesome. All right. So, the Vomit Hat Steve Challenge, for those who are unaware, is once per episode I read a section of a book. If you can guess what book I'm reading from, you get entered into the Hall of Awesome. Membership in the Hall of Awesome has the following benefits. That is all of the benefits. You also get your name read aloud every episode. And I am in no way stalling right now to pull up the list of names.
I can.
Seriously, because I forgot to do it ahead of time. But I'm going to keep talking really quickly because I am capable of doing so.
You
But-
see, before you did the Bill Pullman one, I actually had them memorized. I could have just pulled that out,
All right.
but now I can't.
Here are the
There's too
current
many.
members of the Hall of Awesome. The current members of the Hall of Awesome are Arkamai, Zero, Rena Innocenti, Cheesy McDamu, Krista, Slithery D, Shameless Otaku, The Random Ramblings Man, Corfan, Capito, and Chris Graham.
Can I
I've been
read the letter today?
What? I'm
Can I
sticking with the
read it?
same book.
Okay.
I'm continuing it because I'm determined to keep this one going until someone guessed it. So I've been reading sections of the same book for the last few episodes, and we're going to keep doing it this episode. And this is your text. She just wished he'd go home. That's it. If you could tell me
Wait,
what book
hold
that's
on
out
a
of-
second. I'm being informed that we might have actually had a winner of the Hall of Awesome. That was the letter that I read.
No.
That was. Oh no, that wasn't the right one. Okay, I'm sorry.
I didn't even know that was a... That's
I
not
was
even
being-
remotely close.
I'm being informed by my live audience member in the apartment that the sentence "the lamp" was a guess at a book.
No.
That
I was not
explains.
even aware that was a guess at a book.
Yeah, no, that's
It is
I just thought
so-
it was cryptic and
that's
terrifying.
not the right answer. It's not the lamp.
It's not even close.
I'm
All right.
sick.
So if you know what book that's from, go to nerdandtie.com and click on the contact form and tell us. Or if you have anything else to tell us, emails, messages, reasons for me to keep going, send them.
I love you, Trey. That's why you have to keep going.
I hate you. All right.
Ouch.
I believe in you all. I
So
do.
This has been a long episode.
It has been, but that's been our 2014 year in review, folks.
Yes. And remember to subscribe to us on both iTunes and Stitcher. Rate and review us if possible. And I have been and continue to be Trey Dorn.
I might be firsters depending on where tomorrow takes me.
And so long as you're in the correct time zone, I am Nick Izumi.
And we have been Nerd and Tie.
Have a happy 2015, everybody.
Hooray! Keep on sparking the free world.
I was going to wait for you to say that.